Hello, my name is Gwenyth Deiter, and I am a SERP scholar at Eastern Michigan University, and today I'm going to be going over my undergraduate research on accessibility in the arts. So here's a table of contents and some of the things I will be discussing today in this presentation. We're going to start with the need, then we're going to talk about accessibility in theater and the process. We'll go over community engagement, and lastly, the final conclusion. So what is the need? There are 17 theaters in Washtenaw County. I've listed some of them on the slide, and they all do great things. But only 2 of these theaters offer accessible services at the moment, one of these being Wild Swan Theater Performances and the other being Riverside Arts Center. These are limited, however, in that Wild Swan only offers children's theater, and Riverside Arts Center had 1 month of accessibility in November 2019 with no promises of going further. And according to the census, 21.5% of Michigan adult citizens reported having some form of a disability. Moreover, 50,000 people in Michigan have reported having a form of autism. And it's worth noting these are only the people that have reported having a disability. So it's clear that access services are needed in all areas. And today we're going to be discussing the arts. So, accessibility at Eastern Michigan University. We work with Eastern Michigan University Theater, and we started in 2018 with James and the Giant Peach. And we've since expanded into developing crews and adding new technology. This year, our show season was going to be Still Life with Iris, which had a beautiful run, but we were also going to be working on Tartuffe. Unfortunately, due to COVID, Tartuffe was canceled, but we still did excellent work. And our research goal was to develop potential guidelines to assist future productions to increase their level of accessibility and to promote inclusivity. So I'll be showing you our research from Still Life with Iris, and hopefully we can use this research to discuss everything that's going to be happening next year. So access tools. I would love to go over all of these, but I'm limited on time, so we're going to start with scenic tours. These allow patrons to actually go on the set before the show. They can meet with actors, they can touch costumes and props, and it really allows them to get more comfortable with the space. We also offer vibrating backpacks. These are really neat and new as of this year. They allow patrons that are deaf or hard of hearing to feel the music along with the performance. And lastly, we offer interactive lobby displays. This involves taking an element from the show. So for example, in Still Life with Iris, clouds were a really big part of it. So we took cotton balls, we put them in the box, and we allowed patrons to feel the clouds that were in the show. It's great to gather a bit more of an understanding on what's happening during the plot. So community engagement. It's very important to us. We used our feedback from last year's meeting to implement new ideas for this year. So we looked to reroute patrons to a more accessible entrance. We set up lobby displays, 2 of them actually, which is really neat for us. And we also collected feedback from students this year. So here's one way that we collected feedback specifically from students and children. We set up a really simple voting system. So we had a yes bucket, a no bucket, and a bucket full of buttons. And patrons would go ahead and throw a button in the bucket that they felt like answered the question best in their opinion. So we asked if they enjoyed the performance, if they enjoyed the quiet space we provided, and if they enjoyed the lobby displays. So on the slide, here are the results that we got from them during the run of Still Life with Iris. And then we asked people on iPads for some more specific questions to see what they thought of other aspects of the performance. So here are some of the things that we asked, and I'm going to put these in graph form for you so it's a bit easier to look at. We asked what lobby display they liked best, if they think that accessible performances are important, and how often they're using open captioning. So here we go. What lobby display did you like best? We had a really awesome interactive coat. A coat was a very large part of the show. The main character wore a coat that held her memories. So we made our own coat, and we asked patrons to put their favorite memory on the coat. And 5 people really liked that. 4 people really liked the ring stick we had. They also liked the mini piano. And 4 people really liked the interactive boxes that I had explained earlier. So then we asked, do you think accessible performances are important? 16 people strongly agreed, and 1 person was undecided. But it's great to know that what we're doing is reaching out to people and that they're enjoying their experience. And then we asked, how often do you use open captioning? This is more so in their own time. 4 people said they use it often, 2 people said they use it sometimes, and 1 person said they never use it. But that's great because we always offer it, and we're glad to know that people are using it at their own homes and at the shows that we put on. So then we asked WISD. WISD stands for Washtenaw Intermediate School District. They work with children that have disabilities, and we were so honored they came to our school matinee this year, and we're also very thankful they were willing to answer some of the questions that we have for them. So we asked teachers if their students enjoyed the overall performance. We asked how useful were the sensory-friendly narratives and space maps sent prior to the performance, and how useful was the audio description for you and your students. So also I'm going to go ahead and put this in graph form for you. 3 people said 5 stars. They really enjoyed the performance, and 1 person said they somewhat enjoyed it. So that's great. We want to know if they enjoyed the content, not just so much the like accessibility aspect, but if they enjoyed the show and if they had fun. That's really important to us. We then asked how useful were the sensory-friendly narratives and space maps sent via email prior to the performance. 3 people found them very important. They really liked them, and 1 person said that they were somewhat useful for them. And then we asked how useful was the audio description for you and your students. So 3 people found that it was very useful for them. 1 person said that it was somewhat useful, and another person did not respond to that question, which probably goes to say that they didn't use the service and they didn't have a need for it, so they didn't respond. And here's the conclusion and future steps that we want to be able to implement as we continue our journey in accessibility at Eastern Michigan University Theater. So we hope to create a guideline, so working on that, future accessibility designers for those at EMU and beyond. We also want to continue to gather community feedback. It's very important to us. We always want to be improving and servicing the needs of the community. And we also want to challenge ourselves as accessible designers to keep improving and providing more access services. So that was my presentation, very quick one, but thank you so much for watching today. I want to thank the SURF program for giving me the opportunity to perform my research. It was wonderful. It was great working with my amazing mentor, Elena SV Flies. And also thank you to everyone who donated to the SURF program to allow all of us to be able to do awesome research and help better our community. So thank you so much once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful afternoon.